Staying cloudy and misty tonight with rain and drizzle possible. There will be some hill and coastal fog as well. Breezy tonight with moderate to fresh and gusty southwesterly winds. A mild night with temperatures between 10 to 13 degrees. And now you're up to date on News Talk.
The Newsround on Off the Ball. This is News Talk.
How are you doing? And you're very welcome along to Wednesday evenings Off the Ball. Tommy Rooney here, sitting in for Owen Sheehan, who's getting up to all sorts, you'd imagine, around the country, recording a few bits and pieces. Looking forward to seeing what Owen's going to bring. I'm delighted to be here this evening. I've got Cameron Hill with me for his Newsround. Cameron, how are you?
That's about Tommy. You're not Owen.
I'm not.
We do have an Owen.
We do have an Owen. That's a very good segue. I hadn't actually thought of that one. Owen Doyle is with us as well.
Yeah, legally we're meant to have one Owen in the studio at all times.
It is a legal requirement. Yeah. How are you doing, Owen Doyle?
Not bad, Tommy.
Great to have you in on an evening that is chock-a-block with football. Of course, there's championship action and also Champions League. We have our eyes on Pafos against Monaco over my shoulder here. David Luiz scoring a goal for Pafos. They're 2-1 down to Monaco this evening. The big dogs are in action as well. Arsenal are up against Bayern Munich and Liverpool are playing PSV. We'll be keeping you across the Champions League across the evening. Myself and Owen will be chatting through it. We've also got an interview with the top scorer in Championship and League history in hurling, Patrick Horgan, who very recently retired from his intercounty career in Cork after 18 seasons. But for a fella who loves hurling as much as him, that is not the end of his love affair with hurling. He's been called in as a selector for the Cork Under-20. So we're going to talk about why retirement isn't the end, and I suppose how he's keeping himself busy over the last little while, and of course Cork's 2025 season. Liam Toland also is with us this evening for Wednesday Night Rugby to pick apart Ireland's autumn series in their November window. So plenty coming up. That's all, lads. That's the intro, isn't it? That's the way I was supposed to do it. It's my debut in the hot seat this evening.
Can't fault it.
How uncomfortable is it for you calling football not soccer or soccer and football? This must be a new thing for you, is it?
That's a cheap dig there. I will let you know that first love was probably soccer or football, whatever you want to call it, back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah, before. Actually, if you go into Owen Doyle's Wikipedia page, about 4 lines down, I'll give you a good one. Goes through, obviously, the 15 clubs that you played for, Owen, which of course is great. Doyle was born in Dublin and had a very successful underage career, which included playing for the Republic of Ireland under-15 national team.
Very successful. Did you write this?
He first began his sporting career in Gaelic football from an early age in Dublin. Are we myth-busting your Wikipedia page here?
It's not true.
No, not at all.
No, it definitely didn't start. I played for St Anne's up in Bonabrina, but I never signed for them until I'd do 3 seasons from maybe 14.
You know there's no contracts in Gaelic games, you know that?
Wasn't enough money in it for me, Tommy, so I had to jump out, you know.
Brilliant. And that was what, up to under 14s, and then
I probably left when I was 15, 16 maybe, and the football took over then.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. And you went on to carve out
2 or 3 years, yeah.
A phenomenal career with loads of stories. Karen, your favourite debut that you've made? Is it
my favourite
in tag rugby? Is it in Gaelic football? Is it in soccer? Is it in here and off the ball? What was the most difficult or your favourite debut that you've made over the years?
Well, famously, I won the Crappy Quiz on my Crappy Quiz debut in an uncontroversial saga that we don't necessarily have to revisit.
Oh, we can.
From a rugby perspective, I made my Junior Cup debut for Sligo back when I was in second year.
Okay.
And I came off the bench playing in second row because I was, tall. So they were like, well, second row is the natural fit for Cameron. And we were playing CBS versus Common. And it was about
the Rossies.
Tough game. We lost it fairly handsomely. And I came on the pitch, and first action was to catch the kickoff again from CBS running in yet another try. And they had a brilliant player. I can't remember his name. Which is not a dig and not a reflection of where this story's going. But I caught the ball, thought, brilliant, what a great start to this, and got absolutely bisected by this fella, like straight up. Like he had his eyes ready for me. Okay. And just totally took me out of it. I held on to the ball, which I was very proud of. Can't remember what happened after that. Which,
concussion, perhaps.
Perhaps a concussion, we don't know.
Well, Cameron, perhaps the Roscommon CBS kid from back then might reach out this evening and off the ball and get in touch, because maybe you'll find them.
We can break some bread. Absolutely.
Well, I hope this debut isn't as memorable as that one, and we'll do our best this evening, Owen, to get through.
I'll try my best to bisect you. Is that what was the word you used there? Yeah, bisect you. That's my plan now for the night.
Yeah.
Would you bisect Tommy Rooney here in his debut?
You'll be grand. You'll be all right. We'll get through it. I tend not to get too fussed at these sort of things, but it is hot in here. I don't know. Are the seats heated? Is this seat right here heated?
Could be the nerves there, Tommy.
For Owen,
and the better of
in
you.
the evenings, it could be easily. Did you get struck by nerves when you were making your debut with the various clubs that you
No,
played with?
I only remember getting nervous. I think it was in 2 matches, and it was both cup finals, just because they were such big occasions.
Really?
Yeah, and that was it. The FEI Cup final. It was the first in the Aviva. I think it was 2010 for Sligo, and then the Scottish Cup final for Hibs against Celtic, and that was just walking out sea green. And I had nerves that day. That's it. Like all the other games, never just really looking forward to them all. But now, like my belly was rattled.
And were you able to channel it in a positive way?
Yeah. Like once the game starts, it's game on type of thing. But before it, like they're the only two real memories of nerves I have, like playing football. Yeah.
Does it surprise you then that the nerves kick in when they do like that? Like if you go through most of your career without getting that, then when it comes, is there also sort of, geez, what's going on with me today? Because
I'm
not usually like this.
Yeah, both of them games would have been early on in my career, and probably both at the time the biggest games. They would definitely were the biggest games in my career at that time. So I'd say that's just what it was. It was just the momentum or the momentous night or day ahead of me. Was probably the most significant part of it. Like
Did you win both of them? You scored a penalty in the 2010 FA Cup final.
Yeah, no, lost the one for Hibs against Celtic. Yeah, 3-0. Missed the header. They got 1-0 up. Fraser Foster made a save, 6 yards out head. I'll never forget this. They broke, went up the other end of the pitch. Anthony Stokes down the left wing, crossed it in. Gary Hooper goal. I've never felt as deflated in my life.
Came from that miss.
Yeah, I remember very little that's happened in all the games over the years. I remember that
Really?
like really, really well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. The fine lines.
Yeah.
You never know what would happen. We've got plenty going on in the Newsround, Cameron, so we're going to get to that in a moment. We, as I mentioned, have a very good show coming up. Patrick Horgan is with us at 7:30. From 8 o'clock, we've got Wednesday night rugby. And we'll talk a bit of GA. We might try and get a bit of GA between us a little later in the 8 o'clock hour as well.
Well, you'll be doing the talking, I'll do the listening.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And we'll obviously keep you up to date with all the Champions League that's happening. So, now, if you're not an off-the-ball member already, now is your chance, or to go and get the perfect gift for the sports fan in your life. Our Black Friday offer is now live. You can get a 1-year OTB subscription for just $69.99, down from $99.99. You'll get exclusive podcasts, ad-free listening, and early event access to all of our gigs at Off the Ball. So plenty of exciting things coming up. I'll bring you one of our rugby ones a little later. Just go to offtheball.com/Black Friday for more. The offer ends the 1st of December 2025, so don't miss out. Cameron, we might get into that news round because there's plenty happening, isn't there?
Yeah, so the FAI's Director of Football, John Martin, has told Off the Ball that he plans to sit down with Hamer Hallgrimsson next month over his future as Republic of Ireland boss. The Icelanders' contract, of course, due to expire next summer. Now, Hallgrimsson recently insisted that he's fully focused on the World Cup playoffs in March. They, of course, take on Czechia in Prague on the 26th of March in that playoff semi-final. Win that, and it's a home game against either Denmark or North Macedonia. Speaking on Off the Ball Breakfast this morning, Martin also underlined the need for facilities to improve across Irish football to ensure players can develop within the Irish football ecosystem.
In really simple terms, like we want more kids playing more football in better facilities, right? So you can dress it up in loads of different ways, and there's loads of components there, but that's it. We just want all of the kids participating. So what I'd love to see, if your team is training once a week, can they go twice a week? If they're playing 20 games a year, can they go 40 games a year? And I think the positive from my perspective is we're not stepping into a participation challenge. So if you go into, and particularly in girls football, like that is exploding at a brilliant rate. Like, as I mentioned, it's my own daughter's team, but like there was 4, they were under 8s last year in the DDSL, and there was 4 leagues under 8s. I think there's 9 leagues under 9s. It is just, and I would say they're like gremlins. Like for our team, there's new girls arriving every week, and it's really positive. So we need to keep them. We need to make sure we can give them more, but ultimately they need to be doing that in a better facility that enables them to stay and keeps them longer. There's no excuse for not having them. Clubs are mobilised in a far stronger way. I think you've seen it in the previous round of SCEP, that actually the money that the clubs have put in for was the highest ever. The worry, we have to see the numbers, and it's actually not part of my remit, but something I just would be interested in. Yeah. What the drawdown of that number is going to be massive, and I think there could be a story within the drawdown. So, for example, if there was, I think it was 150 million given to soccer, what did they draw down? And if there's an issue with drawdown, how can we actually help unblock that issue? So I would have a worry there, and we can't like get caught up in like Troy Parrott and the goal and how amazing it was. But I think people have seen the reaction. They've seen where Troy grew up playing his football. There should never be a disconnect between the benefits of providing good facilities and what that means for a community, because they're clear and obvious. They are the most clear and obvious things you could ask.
Yeah, John Martin, Director of Football for the FAI, speaking to Ger and Colin this morning on Offtheball Breakfast. Very interesting. Eoin Doyle, what do you make of that?
Yeah, obviously I know John personally. I'm a very good, close friend of his, and what I do know of him, like, I wouldn't be coming on here, I wouldn't be saying any bad words about him, but he's definitely a really, really capable and talented fella, and he knows his stuff. And I don't think he said that in there. That's probably something that we haven't really heard. You know, we all know the infrastructure for football in the country has to be better. I'm sure he'll have a strong interest in kind of putting the plans in place to try and help us get to a better situation in the coming years, especially with the growth of the game. It's still the highest participated sport in the country. As you mentioned, the girls there, that's growing so fast. I've seen that with my local clubs, my local area myself. So it's it was an interesting character. He's a good character. It was a great listen this morning. I had to listen to it myself, and hopefully he does really well in there. Yeah,
I think just even the mention of the Parrott goal, and I think we all know the context around it. A week like that for Troy Parrott was absolutely glorious, and we've always been able to produce footballers like that. But a moment like that, regardless of what happens, and we obviously want to get to the World Cup, but regardless of what happened, it just reminds us how powerful it can be if we can nail everything around our football.
It's unmatched. Like it's unmatched we're a sport mad nation, but the Irish football team doing well is unmatched compared to anything else I think in the country. The fact that it's like obviously on the international stage, the World Cup is the most watched event ever. We're all dying to get over there and achieve. And I think obviously the greatness of that last week, the best thing about it was that there was zero hope before it, no expectations at all. It was like a matter of see it out and let's take it on and see what happens next. And that has completely flipped. Yeah. Completely flipped, obviously.
It's incredible the belief though, because we were no hopers in the sense that we'd all sort of given up, that we've seen such drudgery over the last 2 years, but now I'd say we reckon we can put a team up against anyone.
Well, that's the thing. It's the beating the Portugal, and like listen, a lot of things went for us that night, and it was like, and the night had everything. Ronaldo sent off, just had the lot. But obviously to go over to Hungary and win that game, such a massive game that we had to go and try and win. We had to actually go into I can't remember the last time we've actually gone into a game and really tried to win it, you know. And we pulled it off. And obviously Troy does his magic on the night, which is excellent. But now we've got such belief.
And I think that belief, as John Martin says, that helps with participation, and there's no issue with the participation or people coming to the sport and getting young players in the door. And he says that in that interview today very well. It's about retaining them, and it's about the facilities being good enough to help retain these young players. Like the Minister of State for Sport, Charlie McConalogue, said a couple of months back that they were going to do an audit of the facilities around what they felt were underserved areas around the country. I'm not sure what the state of that audit is and how good those facilities are, but that is the first step. You have to know what we're actually working with before funding can even be allocated. So the political pressure that we've seen the FAI and Irish grassroots football put on the political classes and the government over the last while has been brilliant and has yielded that 3 million in the budget for LOI academies. But there needs to be a whole lot more, because there's going to be however many clubs who aren't served by those academy funding, and the facilities need to be there for players to feel that they can progress and actually enjoy sport and not necessarily go on to a professional or elite pathway, but can keep it up right the way through the underage system.
Absolutely, and not even just at the elite level, like complete grassroots, just the boys and girls that just want to go out and run around 2, 3, 4 nights a week and make sure they always have a game on a Saturday or Sunday. That's really important, like the need for these kind of astro pitches and stuff in all our communities, so the access is always there.
It's unbelievable.
It's so beneficial, so beneficial. I know, like, I obviously lived in Liverpool for 7 years while I was playing, and in my little area in South Liverpool, can't compare it to what's gone over here, but the Premier League actually invested in astro pitches across the whole country, and within about a 2 mile radius, I think there were 6 astro pitch centres that had 4 full-size Astro pitches on each centre.
Yeah.
You could just imagine the amount of games constantly being playing.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful thing. We need to try and get ourselves to that situation.
We might come back to that in the football show, because that's really interesting hearing that, because I'm involved in helping out with the under-21 team in the club in Clare, where we are at the minute in Cratloe, and trying to find a pitch with lights that you can play on at this time of the year is impossible when it comes to Gaelic games. So maybe shared facilities. I don't know. Is that the way? But
oh yeah, if
anywhere,
a multi-sport model
yeah.
would be golden. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a deeper conversation there. Yeah. We are, of course, on WhatsApp. You can get in touch with Off the Ball this evening on 0879 180 180, or you can message us at Off the Ball. Cameron, we better get into some of the Champions League stories this evening.
Huge night in the Champions League, Tommy, and Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta admits that tonight's clash with German giants Bayern Munich is the toughest test they've faced this season. Both teams have 4 wins from 4 in the league phase so far and are top of their domestic tables.
Every opponent brings different challenges. Obviously, they are in a great moment. I mean, the level of consistency they're showing in results, performances is very, very impressive. We know that, but as well, that's a massive opportunity as well for us to show what we are capable of.
Team news in for that game at the Emirates tonight, and Martin Odegaard and Victor Gyökeres have been named on the bench tonight. They, of course, missed that emphatic win over Spurs in the North London derby in the Premier League on Sunday. 2 changes for the Gunners tonight in the starting team. Christian Mosquera and Miles Lewis-Skelly come in for Pierre Hincapie and Riccardo Calafiori respectively. Harry Kane, Michael Olise and former Arsenal forward Serge Gnabry are in the Bayern side tonight. Moving on to Liverpool, and boss Arne Slot says he's happy to shoulder the blame for their recent poor form. The Premier League title holders have suffered 8 defeats in their last 11 matches in all competitions. Now they host PSV Eindhoven tonight at Anfield, and Slot admits he's under pressure to turn things around quickly.
Every day you have to prove yourself if you are working at a club of this level. You cannot say we won the league or we did this or this and now everything is okay. If you work at this level, the next game is always the one that's most important, and you have to prove yourself every single time.
Hugo Ekitike replaces Alexander Isak up front for Liverpool tonight. Mo Salah also in the team from the start. Now, reigning European champions Paris Saint-Germain welcomes struggling Tottenham to the Parc des Princes this evening. Spurs boss Thomas Frank is under pressure after disappointing displays in recent defeats against rivals Arsenal and Chelsea. And Frank says the club needs to stick with a plan after 6 managers in 6 seasons.
I know how to build a team, I know how to build a club, and we will do that. And along the way, we will learn from the bad spells, because that's where we can see that when we go 1-0 down, how do we react as a team? That's the big challenge, but that's what I embrace.
Unsurprisingly, Thomas Frank has rang the changes tonight. 5 in all from his team that lost to Arsenal in the North London derby, and a fairly frightening prospect for them in the form of Paris Saint-Germain tonight. Kvaratskhelia and Bradley Barcola, Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, Zaire Emery, Marquinhos, Pacho, to name but a few of the players they'll have to face in Paris tonight.
Yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on all the games this evening, Owen. What are you most looking forward to?
Well, obviously, a Liverpool fan, always keep an eye on them.
I didn't ask you what you were dreading.
Yeah. I was about to say that. I could do without watching them tonight. Maybe watch Arsenal. But Arsenal haven't conceded a goal yet in the Champions League, which is madness. Like, they're just defensively so strong this season. Obviously won every game in the Champions League, and then so have Bayern Munich, both of them leading that league table. So, that's obviously the game of the night, I suppose.
Definitely. Cameron?
Moving on to matters in Bulgaria today, and you might have heard at the top of the hour there, the Republic of Ireland under-19s were left confused ahead of their women's Euro qualifier against Sweden today. Organisers played God Save the King instead of Iran Naveen ahead of today's encounter. The players then sang the latter with no background music. Dave Connell's side were beaten 3-1 by the Swedes and continued their qualifying campaign against Poland on Saturday.
That's not great.
No, not really.
What? Are we going to get too fussed about it?
I don't know. Is it not a complete affront? Maybe Bulgaria are getting Nations League revenge. Maybe that's what happened there.
Yeah, I think we chalk it off to a mistake and we let him off with it, I think.
Fair play to the girls, though. Apparently they sang at them around the vein themselves.
Yeah, a cappella.
Yeah, brilliant. Fair play.
Tough one.
Could you do that?
No, you wouldn't want to hear my singing voice, Tommy.
Okay, yeah. I'm in the same boat as you.
A football show at 9 o'clock if you want to hear Eoin Doyle singing.
We'll work that out for the next hour.
Karaoke hour.
Yeah, fantastic. What else is going on, Cameron?
Well, the Mayo senior footballers are heading to Portugal for a warm weather training camp this weekend. New manager Andy Moran and his charges will travel to Vilamora in the Algarve, lovely, on Sunday for pre-season preparations. 5 days the trip will last, but they won't be staying at one of the sports campuses that are regularly used by senior county squads.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I don't know what your pre-season camps are like. Obviously in the GAA it's in the midst of the winter. Counties have been officially allowed back in the last week or so, but this is a kind of well-trodden path. Donegal went to Abu Dhabi last December, but it's the first time that the Mayo footballers have been away since 2019 on a pre-season camp, so I think this is a big boost for Mayo. And actually, Cameron, there was a line in John Fogarty's report in the Irish Examiner that is a major boost to Mayo football fans, as it has been speculated that Kobe MacDonald will also be travelling with the group, despite signing for AFL club side St Kilda earlier this month. MacDonald is obviously doing his leaving cert at the minute, and he'll do that in June before heading over to Australia to play professionally in the AFL. He signed that pre-contract agreement, but I think for Mayo football fans and Gaelic football fans, I think that sounds like a really smart move, and that can't be anything but a positive and a massive boost to the Mayo football team that I suppose Andy Moran, if it is true, has convinced Kobe to get involved over the next couple of months.
Or maybe Kobe's convinced him that, yeah, do you know what? The Algarve and Melbourne are quite similar. That'd be real helpful for me if we could go there beforehand.
Possibly. Warm weather training camps, did you ever get?
Oh yeah, we've had a few of them. I've done them ones in the Algarve. Yeah, a few of them are stag deals, like with the team.
Brilliant.
In fact, one of our best ones was before we were supposed to come back for pre-season, 1st of July. And with loads of new signings in the building. I was always one of them, I think 12 or 13 new signings. The gaffer sent a message out like mid-June and said, actually lads, all yous meet in it was East Midlands Airport like the 26th of June. We're actually having a stag deal before pre-season starts to get to know each other.
That's class.
We won the league.
Who was getting married?
No.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Do you won the league that year?
We went on and won the league that year.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah, no, like I always speak to James Donoghue and Paddy Andrews on the football pod quite a bit, and they're like just the amount of contact time in terms of football and working on skills that you can get together being away, especially when it comes to GA for a couple of days, but it's the camaraderie as well. It's the bit of crack, it's the gelling of the squad together, and I think Kildare might be off on one as well in the next week or so too, so I think any county that can get it together, it's a positive for them. So
especially the GAA, I suppose, just trying to squeeze in training in the evenings after the workday, etc. Like, it's been able to get over and have whatever it is, 5 days to a week of just lots of information and getting that kind of base fitness into the lads would be hugely beneficial.
Yeah, Cameron, I think that's all we have time for on the Newsround.
That'll do.
Yeah, thanks very much for backing us up on the debut in the hot seat here this evening. Eoin Doyle, you're staying with me for the evening. Patrick Horgan is on the way, but first it's time for the cash machine.
News Talk's cash machine.
Now, after another big winner last week, there's another huge amount to be won this Friday. The number you need to know is €266,000 exactly. €266,000. There are two ways you can enter. You can visit newstalk.com/cash machine, where you can enter online, or text play to 57557. That's 57557. Get your entry in by 3 p.m. on Friday then across the Go Loud network of stations. Someone will get that call. If your phone rings, answer it within 5 rings and give us the exact amount in euro and cent, and you will win the cash. So remember that amount, €266,000 exactly. €266,000. Over 18s only, text cost €2.50 plus your standard message rate to play. You are playing across the Go Loud network of